Hey, wonderful people, welcome to PCP Pixel Clicks presents Chattin with Cody. I am Jordan Pollock, and this week's shirt is brought to you by Umai Clothing, who we are not sponsored by. Podcast listeners, remember to follow me on Instagram at Jordan Zaber to see this week's shirt in picture form. But I am not alone. The producer on the ones and twos, he
I
is
hope you're not alone because this ain't even your
21.
fucking podcast.
The producer on the ones and twos, he is at Cartoonic21. Shane Carpenter is here.
What's up, everybody? I didn't do the intro this week because we have a special guest. But he already introduced
We
himself.
invite him from one podcast that he just takes over, all right?
And the star of the show, he is at _Shandot_. Cody Franklin is here.
Applause break, thank you.
Already
Now, I will-
plugging the socials.
I will recede back into my guest position.
I was like, man, we're already plugging the socials. We're doing all this other stuff. It's like a real professional podcast again.
Oh man,
it's like I've never stopped podcasting.
Well, that's a good point to start off on. Hey, everybody, guess what? This year is technically the 10-year anniversary of Aztec versus King.
That's crazy.
I don't want to
Man.
think about that.
Whew,
It's not a
10
bad
years.
thing.
It's
a
not,
bad
but
thing.
it's crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
Post on our social media, we should post like that first video or something like that. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I'll post it with Jordan's baby face.
And my giant jug of water.
That giant jug of water featured in at least 5 videos.
Yeah. And you gotta stay hydrated, you know?
It's important.
It's true. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay tip-top shape.
So
Why did that take so long to load, Cody?
I
Holy
think
moly.
it's because I have something. I've been loaded. It reloaded again. It's setting up all these LVY things. So yeah, if you can't tell what's going on, this week's topic is going to be World of Warcraft because
World of Warcraft.
we are all sucked back in.
It happened.
Who
Accept
might-
my
like-
invite.
oh, that's you?
That's me.
I thought you made a warlock.
Yeah, I did. Doesn't that
Oh.
show as a warlock?
It looked blue like a mage, so I was confused. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, we're talking about World of Warcraft, everybody.
Yes,
Because-
podcast listeners, you don't see this, but Cody and Shane are literally playing World of Warcraft right now.
Trying to. I have
Trying.
way too many add-ons. This is going to take a couple minutes. We're doing it so live that I literally made this character about 10 seconds before we went live. So
Well,
doing
and
all the hard
most
work.
likely we're not actually going to be playing. We're just going to be jumping around in circles and
While we
doing
talk
looks
about it. Yeah.
while we talk about it. Because, yeah, it's not easy to play and talk at the same time.
True.
But, so, I think where a good spot for this to probably start off is what is everyone's first World of Warcraft memory? Or like
Oh,
the
that's a
big
good question.
big thing that you remember when you first played?
So I'll start. I first started playing, I think it was like the tail end of Burning Crusade. And it might have been like middle of Burning Crusade when I first got invited. I never really played MMOs before. I think the only other thing at that time, when I was like a little young Cody, that I had played MMO wise, I got like a random. What do you want, dude? Oh, that's you. Okay, it's a random guy. People text like messaging me about like, "Hey, Volpera, do you want to join Volpera United and stuff?" I'm on a role playing server, so I was like, "This guy role playing with me," but it's just Shane. So, yeah, so that was. I think the only other thing I'd ever played was Star Wars Galaxies at that point, and that I'd only played for like 40 minutes. I joined in with my friends who were all playing my Battlefield clan. I think I made a Jedi. No, I made like a bounty hunter. and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. All I remember is I had a speeder that I drove around until I crashed. My friend gave me a Jedi robe, and then he told me to go fight some Womp Rats, and they just annihilated me. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this game is. I'm out, guys. Goodbye. So, no real experience with MMOs. And other than that, a couple months later, my friends go, "Hey, let's try World of Warcraft." So I joined in, and I made like probably at that time, like the worst combination character you could possibly start out with. I made an orc warrior. So warrior back then was really freaking weird and slow with like the rage generation and stuff. And then orc warrior back then, if you don't remember, starts in like just this really, I mean, look, Orgrimmar, basically like this, in the middle of nowhere in the desert hole. And your first two quests were pick apples and beat up pigs.
Oh yeah,
And
it's
I
still
was
those
like,
two quests too.
yeah. If you start in the starting area, that's still what it is. So I'm like, what the fuck is this game? Why do you guys like this? I'm picking apples. I can't do anything. What is rage? No. I bail out for a few months, and I think it was right towards the end of Burning Crusade. I finally came back, made a troll hunter. You start out pretty close, but at least you start out in a little bit better area. And Hunter actually could do things back then before they destroyed Hunter. I hate new Hunter.
Yeah.
But back when hunters had mana, all right,
Oh,
and
yeah.
ammo, and they had ammo.
You have to
Remember
buy
that?
arrows, yeah, and get bigger
Back in the
quivers
day,
so you can carry more arrows.
That was crazy back then. How much the game has changed since.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then eventually, I think right before Wrath of the Lich King came out, my friend and I did Refer a Friend, and we both made Paladins, and that was awesome. Leveling up Ret Paladin, because that was the primo days of Ret Paladin, man.
Yeah.
This hasn't been
Oh,
the same
yes, it
since
was.
Cataclysm. Back in my day, we didn't have this newfangled holy power combo point system. You just used your exorcism, and remember when that was a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Goddamn youngins, they don't know what the good old days were like.
Oh man, Red Paladins were so fun back then.
Yeah.
For me, I started playing. It was towards the end of Vanilla. WoW.
OG, okay.
Yeah, well, it's because back then I played a lot of Warcraft 3. And like, oh, this is really fun. And in Warcraft 3, they have a trailer for World of Warcraft. But it's entirely cinematic. I'm like, this looks amazing. Imagine being all these things running around this world. Yeah. But I didn't hop on immediately just because it's just like, I don't really have a computer for that. Whatever. Eventually, I did make it with some. I did buy the game and started playing it with some friends, and I made a Night Elf Hunter.
Hunters seem to be the thing to do when you start out. Apparently, it's like what everyone makes.
Because like I thought it was cool, it's you have ranged attacks and you could do melee if you wanted to, and you have a pet with you at all times. Like, oh, this is cool. And I made the ugliest Night Elf Hunter ever because at the time I didn't have a great computer, so I couldn't quite see my character's face.
Did you do it? I hope he looks good. I can't tell.
Yeah, like because he was wearing a blindfold. Like, oh, because he's like Illidan, and then he had like really janky teeth. But I couldn't tell.
I mean, Night Elves back then before the revamp looked pretty bad. So
rough. Yeah.
You didn't have far to fall from that tree.
Yeah. And so I played for a while, and then I think that character only got to like level 40 or so before like my friends jumped off, and I was like, I was still playing here and there by myself. And I just made it my goal to just travel the world and explore the entire map. And I got the Explorer tabard, like just because that's literally all I did. And this was back when you had to be, was it 40 to actually get a mount?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for most of that,
40 to get a regular mount, 60.
Yeah.
Good luck getting an epic mount because it costs. What was it, like 600 gold in Vanilla?
It was an obscene amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back in those days, it was just like you can buy your regular mount, which is only, was it 65% faster than running?
Yeah.
And 60. Then you have to buy it. Yeah, then an epic mount would be 100% faster. And I'm like, cool, but I didn't have the money for amount for most of the time. I was 40 because I think I ended at like 46. So I was just running around using aspect of the cheetah. That's all I was doing.
That's one of the things I do miss of old WoW is like that first feeling of like when you first got flying in Burning Crusade and stuff like that, or when you first got your mount and you're just like, wow, this is so cool. And now you just get that stuff and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah. So like after a while, I dropped off. Burning Crusade came out. I was like, "That's cool. You're not prepared. Ha! That's really funny." I didn't play, and then Wrath came out, and I jumped back in again, and I made a Blood Elf Paladin. I'm like, "This is the best goddamn shit in the world. This is my favorite."
Blood Elf Paladins too. That's
Oh my
right.
god, Blood Elf Paladin. Her name was Sect Slave, so
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that name.
yeah, yeah. Then so during Wrath, that's when I actually switched to Horde because I just like the Horde characters better, just aesthetically for me. So that's when I became Horde, and I kind of just stayed Horde the whole time.
Yeah. Sorry.
What about you, Jane?
I'm being amused right now by the fact that there are people that are having a very serious roleplay right next to us. I'm just watching off to the side and
Funny
seeing
because I
these
haven't like
people.
ran into anybody role playing since I came back, but I basically went in the Shadowlands on my main
Yeah.
character on the server,
Yeah.
and everybody's just playing normal Shadowlands there. So I was like, I wonder if anybody's still role playing back in Orgrimmar. Apparently so. If literally the first place we went, there's people role playing.
Yeah.
I
Apparently,
brushed
one
past
of
your ears.
these Vulparians has amnesia. If you want to know the backstory of these Vulparians who are RPing next to us. So for me, my first WoW experience was vanilla WoW. Technically my parents actually started playing WoW before me,
Yeah.
and
He's the odd one out. He actually has nerd parents.
Yeah.
So-
No, yeah. I mean,
I mean, let me just say, it ain't actually as good as you might think it is. Shout outs to my parents. Please don't listen to this podcast because I'm talking shit about you. But so I kind of got into it because of them. I started making a female night elf warrior, which was one of the most random combinations that I could possibly think of. But that was my first character. She was great. She got all the way to level 60, and I got really annoyed because I didn't have any way of getting enough money to get an epic mount, and I was stuck with plain regular mount. And that was pretty much the story of my life all the way through Burning Crusade, where I always had not enough gold to get the cool things, because flying mounts were stupid expensive in Burning Crusade.
oh
And
yeah.
especially the master flying mounts or whatever, the final upgrade, which was like 30,000 gold in Burning Crusade or something stupid. But for me, I spent a lot of time raiding, which, yeah, that was it was an experience. Let's just say that. Because
old school rating was definitely
me
different.
raiding as a... When did Classic WoW come out? It was like 2004? 2005?
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I would have only been like 14 or 15. And I was tanking for like this giant molten core raid. And there were all these older guys who were just like, dude, shut the fuck up, kid. Like, and a funny story that I can share on the stream, and it's also kind of a dig at.
You weren't kidding. This is very serious roleplay going on right here.
Yeah.
These fucking people.
I told you. I'm like, if I could make the screen any bigger so that people could see what this role playing is, dude, I probably would. But I probably shouldn't be sharing role playing.
Talking about like dying for each other and stuff and like sexual harassment. I'm like, what the hell is going on? There's
Oh.
something about like unseemly comments and things. I'm like, what? Woo.
Oh, all right.
At least
Well,
that's one thing. At least we were on Horde. All right. If we had been playing
Goldshire.
Alliance, we would have ended up in Goldshire, and woo, that would have been a different podcast. All right.
Yeah. I mean, so two things I guess was one. Yeah, I made my first character and it was on a role playing server. Goldshire, full of fucking sickos. No matter which server you're on, and I think anybody who actually hangs out there on the regular, FBI, you should be watching those people.
Very first time me and my friend Kevin made role playing characters, role playing server characters. It was basically, I think it was, what's the big role playing server?
Oh,
Moonguard.
Moonguard,
Oh yeah, man.
which is
Moonguard.
notorious for
Yes.
Goldshire.
So yeah, we wanted to see if the rumors were true. So we made female characters, lions. I think it was void elves. I think is what we made.
Oh boy.
And we went straight to Goldshire, and we're skimpy as possible. And like within 2 or 3 minutes of getting to the inn in Goldshire, this Death Knight was like, "Hey, you guys want
Want
a good
a
time or something?" No, it wasn't that intense. Like he was like, "Hey, come with me. I got like something like a secret to show you or something, right?" And we're like, "Okay, oh god." Well, we knew where this was going, but like, fuck it, let's go on, right? So he takes us down to the basement, and then he starts like immediately at role playing, like taking his armor off and stuff. And we're like, "Whoa, okay." And he's doing like this in like slash save, so like everybody can see it. And thankfully, there was like a group of people like up inside the inn who immediately he's getting closer to us, and we're like, "Oh god, this is happening," right? And all of a sudden, like 20 people come down the stairs, and they're like, "Hey, you, stop that!" And it's like one of those moments like from Oblivion, you know. Like the guard's like, "Stop right now, criminal scum! You violated the law." And he was like, "Oh God, I'm sorry," and he runs up the stairs and runs away. And they're like, "You guys need to be more careful here." And it was all role playing. We're like, "Yeah, sure." And I'm like, "Yep, this is Moonguard. This is Goldshire. I mean, we're not even here 5 minutes. We're already getting sexually assaulted. All the rumors were true. This is a scary place."
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I still made a role playing server character, but I just didn't do it on Moonguard.
Yeah. I mean, role playing servers are always notoriously. I mean, they're cool. There are people on there who are interesting to meet, but there
Yeah.
are definitely people who are there for a very specific reason.
it almost always turns to sex stuff. It's just
Yep. And then the one other funny story I was going to share is playing with my dad.
She
Doing
said
raids.
"Oh, sex stuff," and they're literally talking about making it.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get away from these guys. This is weird.
Uh, yeah, I mean, playing with my dad was cool and all at the time, relatively speaking, but raiding with your parent in another room and they get frustrated.
Hey, Shane, if you don't get the kill, you're fucking grounded.
Not quite that, but something pretty similar happened, and we got in a shouting match without muting our mics on a raid Discord channel.
God.
And that was probably one of the most embarrassing yet hilarious things that's ever happened. Because I remember the guild master after the raid was done took my dad aside and was like, "Dude, leave your son alone." But yeah, those are like the funnier stories I had. I mean, a lot has changed since the game first came out, guys. So
oh yeah,
Right now, Orgrimmar is like completely different.
yeah,
Remember that got blown up and rebuilt? I mean,
Back in my day, Desolus was a desolate,
was that
bad
desolate?
place, and that was my favorite zone. Now it's rich and vibrant. I'm like, I don't want to be there anymore.
Desolate sucked in Vanilla WoW.
Why everyone hates Desolus? It was great. I liked it a lot.
No.
Fought demons, there's basilisks everywhere.
It Yeah. Sarah, Sarah's out here trying to be like, you should talk about dating through WoW, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to talk about that. um,
And now
You
you
know,
piqued my interest.
you know,
nah, we're good.
I will say the best part about playing a female character back in the day, at least, was so many random people would just come up to me and just give me gold.
Oh yeah,
That's
oh
cool.
yeah. I had a friend who, like, basically whenever he was low on money, he would just go to Orgrimmar and strip and start dancing, and he would just get money,
Just
like
get
tons of
gold
money.
from random people.
I was like,
I would like to say I never stripped. I was just hanging out and people gave me money. All right, I was never dressed provocatively.
Let me just reassure the people that I would never whore myself out for money.
Yes, yes. My blood elf paladin sex slave never whored herself out.
Oh man. But I think another good thing to talk about probably is just we've all played pretty much. I think we've all played pretty much every single expansion at this point, other than BFA for Jordan.
Yeah, I skipped BFA, which I'm just playing through it now at least.
yeah,
Uh,
you get the
which-
Spark Notes version.
yeah. Which one out of those expansions would you say is your favorite?
Wrath, like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to disagree on this one, but Cody?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Wrath was definitely.
it's clearly Wrath, but I do really like Legion as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Legion was pretty
got
good.
close. Legion got
Yeah.
pretty close to Wrath levels for me, because it was, I don't know. It had a similar feeling, but the thing with Wrath is it had the Lich King.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to villains in Warcraft, literally nobody can top Arthas / the Lich King in terms of cool factor.
It's true. Plus, Wrath had the hypest intro cinematic.
Yep.
Like, just you have the
I don't know.
What?
That was pretty hype, but Warlords of Draenor's intro was pretty freaking hype too.
Was it though?
They freaking killed a demon.
That's
alright?
true. That is true.
They ambush and kill a demon right there to start. All right, we will never be. We will never be slaves. We will always be conquerors or something like that.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking hype. All right.
But I mean, did it start with King Menethil doing a monologue
Voiceover?
talking to Arthas?
Yeah.
Talking about how he's
I
destined for
think, like,
greatness and everything as he's putting on the Lich King shit. Like,
Yeah. I feel like if you knew World of Warcraft before, like if you knew Warcraft before, like you played Warcraft 2 and 3, that was dope as shit. Yeah.
That's mainly why like Wrath was so top tier for me, just because I played a lot of Warcraft 3. So I really enjoyed the campaign and everything. It's like it was cool seeing Arthas again, like, and now he's just indomitable badass, like, and he's the boss.
Cody, why did you go back to where the role players are?
My quest needs me to go back
Ah,
to Nisa for some reason.
The role playing is just drawing him. He
Drawing
has to know. He has to know.
wants
Did
to
the
know why they're
amnesiac
making
learn
out.
something? Yeah.
I mean, it was like a surprise because like when I played back in the start of BFA or whatever, there was like nobody here in Orgrimmar role playing really, and there's tons now. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's good.
You had to go to like back then. I think I knew Volpero were gonna be popular for role playing servers because of furries, right?
Furries. Yep.
What do I gotta say? So I think that's probably part of it. Because back when I played, that was before Volpero were a thing. I mean, just look at this group here. It's all fucking furries, right? Back then, everybody I pretty much made cute blood elf characters.
Yeah.
And so, like, you went to Shadow Moon, or
No.
Silver Moon
Anybody
is where all the
watching
role
the stream,
playing
we're
was.
not actually playing. We're literally just fucking around, walking around all over the place.
Trying to play, but I did not think about. I unplugged my keyboard, my side keyboard, to use for my webcam, and now I'm like, crap, I don't have several keys on this keyboard, so this is going to be interesting if we actually try to do something.
How many
But
keys do you need?
All of them, baby.
I've got the real keyboard section. It's the gamepad section where like I have like 3 or 4 keys that are not there anymore. Oh,
Yeah.
that's another whole thing. But yeah,
Alright.
I'm just kind of like enjoying looking around and seeing like if we find any other crazy people doing stuff.
Yeah. I just thought of something. In Legion's cinematic, it also starts with oh god, I can't think of his name now. But he dead.
Did I start with Illidan? Isn't Illidan the voiceover for?
No, it's God, he was the leader of the Alliance.
Oh, Rin.
Yes. Um
God, I know his son's name, Anduin. What the hell?
yeah, Anduin's dad. But anyway, Anduin's dad, he starts off it starts with him saying my son. He's talking to Anduin, he goes, my son, blah blah blah. This is it's basically a letter to Anduin because he knew he was dying.
The cinematic that basically mirrored the old cinematic from Warcraft 3, where Arthas is walking through the hall, but then it's Anduin instead.
Yeah, like
That was pretty hype. That one was pretty hype.
they drew a lot of like, hey guys, like
Yeah.
it's kind of like Wrath, it's kind of like the Frozen Throne,
Well, Cody, are you doing what I think you're doing? Which one are we doing?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how the hell to do BFA.
I don't think you can do VFA.
You can't. You can. You're supposed to. I imagine you're. I'm surprised you could even talk to Chromie. I figured it would make you. Oh, no, you did play BFA. Never mind.
What?
Did you play BFA?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, it was.
Yes, Varian Rin. That's what it was.
There we go, Varian. Yes.
Varian Worm. Yeah.
Or win. Wine.
By default, you're
I'm pretty
supposed
sure
to.
you have to talk to the War Chief's Herald and get your mission from the War from.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
Man, Varian was such a badass, though. I'm not an Alliance dude, but he was a badass. Like he went out like a G.
Like, look, okay, guys. I'm the odd one out on the group because everybody plays Horde. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm an Alliance person. Hi, hello.
There's nothing wrong with it. I just prefer the aesthetics of the Horde.
Yeah.
Also, it took them until 2020 to make a black character, so.
That's true.
We were talking about the other night. Like, we have the technology. We can do cornrows now. Okay.
We can do it. Yeah, I mean, I like Alliance, but it's mostly because I think I got it ingrained in my head that Horde are bad and Alliance are good.
Yeah,
Which, to be fair, over time I'm like, no, Horde's probably technically more good guys than Alliance. Alliance has their fair share of dum-dums on their side. But anyway.
Yeah, Gen, Greymane.
Yeah, Greymane. And Tyrande, who turned into a freaking psychopath in the last 1.5 expansions or something.
Yeah. I think he's always been a psychopath. It's just always the bubbling rage under the surface before he turns into a werewolf. According to chat, hey Jen, according to devs, you've had black characters since the Trolls, and that is some shit. I mean, granted, yes, the Trolls are all Jamaican. I get it, but come on, man.
What is this?
Yeah, what is that saying? These grotesque, unhuman-looking things are black people.
Away from the voodoo. Oh man!
Come get the voodoo. Stay away from the voodoo.
We don't know how we feel about the voodoo. We are very confused.
Yeah. There's good voodoo and bad voodoo in the world.
No, I think for me personally, I've gone back and forth. Like I started Horde, and then I did Alliance for a while. I think I don't know. There's pluses and minuses to both. I just feel like
definitely.
aesthetics wise, I think I gotta go with like Jordan 2, where I just you ultimately end up feeling more like what's cooler, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
A normal ass dude playing a warrior or a big angry fucking orc. A big angry orc. Come on.
Yo, yeah.
Like it's cooler.
I mean, yeah.
From a story point of view, I'm definitely more of a fan of the Alliance.
Let me ask you this: Who looked better in the Warcraft movie, the humans or the orcs?
Oh, one, it helps when you actually make something actually look like the game, and the other just looks like normal people.
Yeah.
It's such a weird movie. I mean, God, we could have a whole podcast ranting about that fucking movie.
Whew, that movie.
Such a weird choice.
The movie that we all went and sat in the theater to watch because we were like, yeah, Warcraft movie. And then we all went and saw it and we came out of it and we were like,
I don't know what we were expecting. Steph fell asleep.
yeah, Steph fell asleep, which was amazing because I don't think she's ever fallen asleep in another movie.
No, I don't think she has.
It's
Ooh.
up there. That's up there as bad as Sarah and I watched Valerian in theaters,
Oh no.
and we left after 30 minutes. Just
Oof.
left. We didn't even stay
Oof.
for the rest of the movie.
Take that, Dane DeHaan.
I'm sorry. I'm just like, Dave DeHaan, why did you do this movie?
And where has his career gone since? A cure for wellness and then nothing?
And then nothing. Which, shoutouts. Cure for Wellness was actually a pretty decent movie. But
I enjoyed that movie and its 15 plot twists and genre changes.
yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that movie, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, we saw the Warcraft movie. It's a movie, guys. That's pretty much all I can say about it.
I think
It is a movie.
I just want to say, like, hindsight 2020. Thank you to you guys for dealing with me, because I was so pissed when we left that movie. I was in the car. You guys were all just like, I get like, hindsight. I know you guys are just like, oh shit, just shut up, Cody. But I was just sitting there going, like, God damn, they fucked up everything. This is bullshit. I was just listing things off that were like, no, that's not how that went. That was like, I was like that angry, like, you know, like the rest in peace to the guy who roleplayed
Red
him.
shirt?
But like, no, well, the red shirt too, but the guy who like played the angry video game nerd from like South Park, the guy who, like,
Oh, yeah.
cosplayed that.
Oh, yeah.
I basically was being that guy in the backseat, just like, no, that's not how it works. They didn't just the fucking we're not there.
You're
I
just like,
remember
this is fucking wrong.
I remember distinctly during the movie, Cody leans over to me and goes, "This is pretty bad." And it was like 15 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
That movie was so like weird because it's just this juxtaposition of like a really good movie and a really bad movie. Like,
Yeah.
every time the orcs were on screen, like this is pretty damn good.
It was
This
amazing.
is our yeah. And then all of a sudden, a human walks on screen, and you're like, oh fuck, it all just fell apart again.
And then Garona shows up and you're like, "Oh no."
Oh, no.
What? Like, why? What did they do to her? Oh God, no.
Yeah. So
Like the entire point of her character was she was always an outcast. So at the end of the movie, we make her the hero of the entire horde.
I think the thing that hurt the most about that movie was like I went into that movie being like, alright, so hopefully if this is actually good, maybe we'll get an adaptation of Arthas's story.
This is what everybody
then-
really wanted. Yeah, you
Oh,
know.
Just
So-
do Warcraft 3. Like,
And
But then we can't milk this franchise for multiple movies. Okay. We have to
That's
start from the beginning and get there, and we have to make like 3 movies, and then we'll finally get to the
If
good
you
movie.
gotta make multiple movies, just split Warcraft 3 into 3 movies. You got a beginning, a
Yeah.
middle, and an end. You can start with Arthas being fine, and then
Yeah.
you can do his journey to Northrend where he gets all fucked up. And then the last movie can be him massacring people and going full villain.
That'd be amazing because you have 2 storylines going. You have Arthas' story and you have Thrall, doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
Then by the end of the first movie, Arthas gets a hold of Frostmourne and is it Magni that gets stabbed in the
Yeah.
chest with Frostmourne? Yeah,
Yeah. It's Magni that
and
is stabbed.
and then somehow survives, and now is a diamond person. Anyway,
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. He's a
the
diamond
first
person,
movie.
but now he's a spirit that's like a god, right?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Something like that, yeah.
He speaks for Azeroth, champion. The wounds. We have to heal the wounds, champion.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
so,
love those memes so much.
so yeah,
The wounds.
first movie ends. Arthas gets Frostborn, Magni dies, Thrall meets starts putting the horde together, right?
Yeah.
Second movie, Arthas returns to Lordaeron, and then like he's like slowly starting to lose it.
Yeah.
Midpoint of the movie, he starts slaughtering people because no, we can't let them leave. We have to destroy the ships, all these things, and like, dude, Arthas, the fuck are you doing? And then at the end, that's when he turns.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. He turns. Third movie, it's all him as the Lich King, basically, or
Second
becoming
movie
the.
definitely has to end with him killing Uther.
Oh God, yes. Oh man.
That's like the ultimate, like, shit, he's gone.
Yeah. The third movie is the World Tree and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
that. There, we fixed the Warcraft movie franchise.
We
With
did.
movies that will never exist.
Yeah.
Because that boat has sailed.
Just make the whole
Wow.
thing CGI. Like.
That was the biggest thing, yeah. I mean, it was that weird juxtaposition of having real people next to the CGI characters, and like not only did that make it feel like 2 different movies, but then just the writing itself for the Alliance character versus the Horde characters, it was so much. The quality was so much different. It really just felt like 2 completely different movies that were somehow mashed together.
Yep.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
Now that
So
we've ranted about that forever.
What franchise are we gonna rant about? I don't know. Oh, this got off the topic of Warcraft and went on to the Warcraft movie. But that's fine.
It's
It's all
related.
Warcraft. Yeah, I mean, I guess, should we just talk about why we're playing again? Do we
I
even
suppose,
have a
like-
reason why we're playing again? Is there?
Yes, her name is Cornbread, and she talked about it on stream once, and that put the thought in my head.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's all her
I was
fault.
like,
So
so
if you want to find cornbread,
I've been thinking
on
about it for a
Twitch,
while, and then she said it, and I was like, and then everybody was like, "Well, that's a good idea." And I'm like, "No, you can't give me hope."
Yeah.
So I've been wanting to play this with people again for so long.
No,
Can't do it.
My buddy David, he's been saying, "Hey man, you should play WoW again. It's really fun. Shadowlands is really good. Yeah, I think you'd like it." I'm like, no, I don't have the mind space for it. 'Cause I'm playing Cyberpunk. I'm having a great time. Then I beat Cyberpunk, and I'm like, oh no.
We're back.
You okay?
Yes.
Okay. I just heard crash,
Yeah.
shatter.
But yeah, and then I was watching my friend Cornbread stream, and she's like, "Oh man," she started talking about WoW, and I was like, "No, don't do this. Not you too."
You're just like, everyone's betraying me and falling for the. I like how Cody's over here just transmogging his level 10 character.
Hey man, You gotta look good, all right?
You're gonna do one quest and get a whole new set of gear.
No, I feel my heirlooms, baby. I don't gotta replace this
Okay.
shit for like another 30 levels. That's why I'm doing this.
You know what? Smart. All I know is
Here
when I
I
make a
am being
Zandalari
like,
troll.
nah, I'm not gonna play with heirlooms. I'm gonna do it the old school way. Whoop, 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 whoop.
I mean, that's what I did. I wanted to, because I don't know. Whenever I come back to it, I just want to start from square one and go all the way to the end. I just enjoy doing that. I like the grind. Apparently,
Mm-hmm. I agree. I just heirlooms don't give bonus experience anymore, and I
Yeah.
like to look good. I mean,
yeah. I mean, believe me, when I make my Zandalari troll, he is going to be running around with Ashbringer. Just that's it. That's the only sword I'm going to be using. It's going to be an
That's
heirloom. It's going to be an heirloom that's going to be transmogged as Ashbringer. That's all I want. That's another reason why I really loved Legion, just because you got the epically legendary weapons, you know. And I think that's the first time I really want to be a shaman, because they get Doomhammer. I'm like, I know Doomhammer. I want Doomhammer.
Yeah,
But I never made it that far, so
yeah,
I don't know.
that's one of the cool things I like now. Like the change that you can transmog your artifact weapons. They finally relented on that, so you can like actually get those appearances back.
Oh, they
Yeah.
actually
And
let
they
you
were
do
cool.
that now?
Yeah, you can. You could even like use the stuff from the other classes. So like you play like I could play my Ret Paladin and use the big giant hammer from Holy Paladin,
oh yeah,
which
I
I
like
was
that.
like
I like that hammer.
I might have to do that because that was pretty sweet.
Because that was Uther's hammer.
I think so. Yeah.
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 Because I remember you have to go to his grave, and then that's when you get the hammer from him. Yeah. God, Legion was great.
Yeah. I mean, it has its up and downs, but it was definitely one of the
No,
better
it did.
expansions. It's WoW has a cycle, right? It's like Classic was good, BC was kind of eh, Wrath of Lich King was amazing. We're just gonna pretend Cataclysm didn't happen. um,
What
Warlords.
happened in Cataclysm?
That
A
wasn't a
giant
thing.
dragon somehow came out of the earth, and then he destroyed half of the continent. And then we ran around on his back for a little bit and damaged his wings, and he fell into a whirlpool. Now he's gone.
Oh, but don't forget, that was before Thrall had to do like a shoot the whoop thing and shoot a laser and stuff at him.
That is true.
Can't forget
Bro-
that.
Thrall had a spirit bomb. He shot it like a
much.
laser at
Pretty much.
Deathwing.
That expansion there. Cataclysm was a mess, alright. And then Warlords was kind of like no, wait.
You skipped one.
Skipping Mist of Pandaria.
Yes, you
Right?
did. Yep.
Which Mist was controversial.
Mist was
I think-
okay.
Yeah. Mist
Yeah.
started out really shitty. It was
Yes.
one of those like because it just seemed like it had nothing to do with anything. Which
Yep.
if we get into Shadowlands, parallels there, right?
Yeah.
It just felt like it was this thing that just like had nothing to do with the rest of the game, and then they ended
Yeah.
up bringing it around and making it connect. And it's like, okay, this like the last few patches or so, it was a pretty dope game.
Yeah.
So and then Warlords, same thing with Warlords. Honestly, like Warlords was the opposite. Warlords was awesome while you were leveling, then it was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
Yeah.
Garrison.
I did like Warlords while I was leveling. I did not like it once I got to the end of it.
Yeah.
It was grindy as hell, and it was just like, oh no. And then Legion was kind of like chef's kiss, nice balance of everything, very good,
Yeah.
very good. And then BFA, oh BFA, very controversial. But now we're in Shadowlands, and now it's like more or less should be the good times again. So
I like how you're like BFA very controversial, and yet you're like, let's do BFA. I'm like, why?
is this the fastest to level?
Chaos.
I mean, we can go to Warlords of Draenor or something if you want.
No, I'm fine. I'm literally doing this scenario right now. To start
Imagine-
BFA.
But imagine doing Burning Crusade again.
Well, that was the thing. Like I wanted to. Like when we first started playing, right? We were like trying to make characters to play together,
Yeah.
and I went and you guys had started playing a little bit earlier before me because I had to set up all these fucking add-ons. And so I was like, oh, all right, I'll make a death knight, and I'll just like meet up with them afterwards because I'd already done the island before.
Yeah.
Sounded like a good idea on paper. Very quickly remembered there were some quirks of old WoW. like especially Wrath of the Lich King, where it's like, oh hey, remember when you would kill a creature that like had a mouthful of teeth, but somehow he wouldn't have any teeth for
You
you to
wouldn't have
loot?
any
He would
teeth?
You'd have to
he would
kill.
not drop any teeth.
You would have to kill like 3 or 4 of those dudes. I legitimately thought one of the first quests was bugged because it was one where you had to like throw the like ghost trap at people to like possess them, and I
Oh
threw it
yeah.
at like 10 people in a row, and it didn't go off. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Is this broke? And so I literally opened up Wowhead, and they're like, oh, this could take a while because there's a very slim chance. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. This is Wrath of the Lich King. Oh no. And that took forever. So it's like, yeah, as much as I do think I'll go through Wrath of the Lich King again on a character to
Yeah.
level. Oh, there are some quality of life things that have happened in the game
Yeah.
since then.
Yeah, no, I am 100% going to replay through all of the expansions probably, just to do it, just for old time's sake, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, can you even do vanilla stuff anymore, or is that just relegated to a WoW Classic?
Still do it.
Okay.
It's just kind of hidden away
Well,
because all the like quite like, all the starting quests like the War Chief's board and stuff are like go
Yeah.
talk to Chromie and do an expansion. There's nothing that tells you could just go do the vanilla stuff anywhere. We don't. Please don't. All right, we made the stuff, just new stuff, and it's much better. Just please go do that.
I guess that makes sense because they'd be advertising against WoW Classic, you know? Like,
That's
yeah,
too.
that's
I didn't.
true.
I didn't even think of that aspect of it. Like, if you want to play that, we have
wait a
another
second.
Well,
game for
no,
it.
but it's not WoW Classic stuff that you can do anymore, right? It's the Cataclysm revamp stuff.
That's yeah. It's
Yeah. But wait,
maybe it's Blizzard going. We fucked that up so bad. Please don't go do it.
wait. Since we're resubbed again, don't we have access to WoW Classic?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no.
Oh
You have
man.
fun with that.
I might have
That's
to. I might
might-
have to go.
I might have to do it just so I can remember what it feels like, you know? Like,
Yeah. No, I gotta do that. I need to know. I need to remember that.
I need to know. I
That-
need to know where we came from to appreciate what we have now.
Yeah.
right.
That. Yeah. No, that's tempting. Especially if rumor has it this weekend they're announcing World of Warcraft Classic Burning Crusade.
If they did Classic up until Wrath, imagine that shit. Like you see the original WoW before Cataclysm happened.
Oh man.
I think we've all talked about this, and what I just said about Wrath aside.
I know rose-colored glasses right now. That's what's
Right, yeah.
happening.
I think if Wrath of the Lich King Classic happened, I would be there in a minute. Like, oh man,
Just bring back the red pallies, you know?
yeah, exactly. All 3 of us love paladins, and Ret Paladin and Wrath of the Lich King you were a god, okay? That was the best time in the game, just absolute godlike.
Yeah.
Being able to divine storm and kill like 20 people was so fun. Not even talking about PvP and how broken it was in PvP.
Yeah. Oh.
And then
Wow.
Cataclysm came along and they introduced that whole like holy power and oh god, what the hell even is this anymore?
Wait, what the heck? Where are you, Cody?
He's in Zandalar.
I'm very confused. What the hell is this? What is this item? I've never seen it before. You just
Oh, yeah,
kill
what the
myself? What the fuck is this? Just take the easy way out. Light color's easy to. Why do I have an item that can just kill myself? What? Why? How did I get this? What?
Maybe you kill yourself and you go to Shadowlands. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Oh!
Oh, you took the easy way out. I didn't take the easy way out. Ha ha ha! That's what happened.
Wait,
Yeah, I used
what?
the skip. There's a skip before you even do the scenario where you can skip
Yeah.
the scenario altogether. But I guess do you have this item in your backpack,
Yeah,
Shane?
I do.
Okay, so even once you're in the scenario, you can just be like, nah, fuck it. And just kill yourself. It's hilarious.
I guess
That's
I should probably just
amazing.
do that, but I'm almost at the end of the scenario, so I don't know if I should.
I was confused as hell. I'm like, why is this item making just kill yourself?
Well,
What
I
the
was
heck?
confused too because I was like, "Hey, how'd you get there already? I didn't even see you do a scenario." I'm like, "Oh, that's why."
I've been whispering you in the game, and you have not been
Have
responding.
you?
So
Oh,
Look, guys. Pro tip: make a chat channel and just like put it just like party whispers and stuff like that. So it's easier to see things.
yeah. I mean, that just goes to show how long it's been since I've played WoW
Yeah,
with other
yeah.
people.
yeah, no, but yeah, I guess before we go too long, I should probably
Yeah.
start talking about how our feelings are about stuff since we came back. I guess we kind of got this nice juxtaposition, lineup, whatever word you want to use for it, vocabulary test
Yeah.
right now, of me who I've played all the like every expansion. I'm probably the most up to date with the game. I've actually just completed the level 60, and I'm in Shadowlands endgame. Barely, just touched it, but I'm there.
Yeah.
So I could talk about that aspect of it. You have Jordan, who's been here for like a week or so, leveling up. What's your character level now?
I'm 51 right now.
Oh, that's right, because you're doing the war stuff, so you can
Yeah.
get the. That's right.
Yeah. I'm
And then
not
you
doing.
got
I'm not doing everything in BFA basically.
pretty much, yeah, because he wants to handle Ari. So, um, and then you got Shane, who pretty much just came back. So, kind of got
Yeah.
each of our
I mean,
viewpoints, I guess, on it.
I did like the initial introductory quest for Shadowlands on my Death Knight, so I
Yeah.
kind of know where that's going. And then I got sidetracked and was like, I need to unlock a Nightfall, and I went and spent 3 days in Legion again.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlocking those allied races, like yikes. Ugh. But hey, it's
Yeah.
done for me at least now. And Jordan's almost there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, so yeah, what do you guys think since you came back? I guess
Shane, you want to go first?
they
Yeah, I
just
can
came
go
back. So it's
first.
like, yeah,
I'm just like,
it's a game.
yeah, I mean, it feels. Here's my thing about WoW, and this happens every single time that I come back.
Yeah.
It's WoW. There's not much that changes really year over year.
You're not really wrong. Yeah,
It kind of,
especially this time around.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting to come back and definitely see like we squished the levels all the way down to 60, and if you were level 120 or whatever the frick it was at the end of BFA, now
120, yeah.
you're level 50, and I was like, ah. I mean, I guess I understand why they did it, but it just feels pointless.
Yeah, no, I agree, but yeah, I get it. It's a help streamline the game, like because I remember when Legion came out, I used the level boost for my paladin, so it was just right straight away into Legion stuff. But then I made a panda, a monk, and I did from level 1 all the way to level 110, and to do that you had to go through every single expansion. Like I the way well, cause I was just questing the whole time. Didn't do a single dungeon. So if
Yeah.
you do it that way, you have to go through Vanilla, Burning Crusade, Wrath, Cataclysm, Miss Pandaria, Draenor, and then Legion. like
Yeah.
it took a long
Which-
time, but it was
that's
cool.
what-
I got to see everything. Like
Yeah. Because that's what burned me out the last time I came back, is I did that, where I
Yeah.
went from beginning to end, and I was just like, why? What is the point of putting myself through all of this?
Yeah. And that's one thing I like, with the new like experience and with Chromie time and stuff. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think any of us have really messed with it much yet because it's pretty much just been all jumping into BFA. But
Yeah.
the fact that it's there as an option, and
it's really cool.
yeah, and that you can just, especially like for new people who come in, you don't even get Chromie time. It's just straight up. You got to go to BFA. You got to learn the new story, and so on. But I just like the idea in general of if you create a character, you just can you can finally just sit down in one expansion and do your thing, and
Yeah.
actually get to experience that expansion as a whole, as opposed to like yeah, you're gonna miss out on the other stuff in a sense, but at least, especially leveling, especially with heirlooms and stuff before, you really had that problem of like you would do 5 quests in a zone and then it'd be like, all right, time to go to the next zone because you've leveled up so fast. Like, and it just made everything extremely disjointed. You would never really get to finish anything. It felt really bad. So I like that they had this new system where you can just go like, hey, just sit here and chill and just play with this expansion, and you get to see at least one expansion in its entirety in theory.
Yeah.
Instead of having to constantly worry about jumping around and stuff. That's one thing. Like, because even I think I came back a little bit before, because they did before they did this Chromie time thing for Shadowlands. When they launched BFA, they did like the first part of it, which was doing the scaling system.
Yeah.
And having the old zones and like all the expansions were in brackets and things like that, and that worked and it was better than before, but you still kind of had that aspect of like, okay, I'll send them at a certain random point and I can't do anything here anymore, and then trying to figure out like, all right, well, where do I go now, etc. Like, it was just so confusing. Now it's just streamlined. Just play. All right, just play. Everything works. It's good.
The main thing I'm kind of worried about is what is going to happen for the next expansion. Are they going to raise the level cap again? It's like 65, 70? Like, what happens then? Like,
that's how it always works.
Are we going to go through the cycle again of we get all the way up to 120, then level squish, and then...
Oh, they've done like 4 or 5 stat squishes at this point. So it's like how it works. They just keep...
I don't know. I think they'll go... Because... And I feel like I'm misremembering. Wasn't there an expansion that came out that was only 5 levels?
That was Drainer.
Yeah,
that was only 5 levels. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like you said, Jordan, they might go back to doing just 5 levels to try and
I was surprised when they did this squish that they did 10 levels again.
Yeah,
that would have made sense to make it 5.
Yeah,
especially because there's only 4 zones, so it would have been like 1 level per zone or something like that. I mean, it made sense, Blizzard.
Yeah.
Are you done with that scenario yet? Good God, it's been like an hour.
You're right. It has been an hour almost, which means we should probably.
We haven't even talked about Shadowlands really.
Well, yeah, you need to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, how far are you into? Oh no, yeah, okay. Never mind. You guys,
we'll close out.
Really done it.
We'll close out final thoughts from Cody on Shadowlands. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I was gonna say you guys haven't even really done it.
I haven't touched it at all, but I mean, whatever. I'm gonna get to it eventually.
Yeah.
I touched literally the first area, and I was like, "Cool, this is cool. All right." There's a town full of
angel people.
Angel people. Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of. I guess I'll start from the start, like, because you've got the 4 zones. Like, it's almost like I said, the expansions. How there's a cycle: good, bad, good, bad. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt like the zones were. Like, you landed in Bastion, and it's not. None of them were bad per se. Just like Bastion. Starting off with like the weird Buddhist angel people of like getting rid of your emotions and your attachments to the past and all that, and that stuff, like, it just felt really weird. And the zone, I think if I remember correctly from the breakdown on Wildhead, like, it's the longest zone, period. So that being your first zone, it really feels like, are we there yet? Like, come on, it just drags on forever. And then I was like, all right, this kind of sucks. And then I got through it, and I think Jen thought the same thing. She was like,
"Yep, she agrees."
Exactly, thank you. And then you get the Maldraxxus, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. It literally feels like Doom. The first thing you do when you get to Shadowlands, go hang out with weird blue angel people, and it's all like, oh, sad, ooh, it's so boring. The very first thing that happens when you get the Maldraxxus, you land inside of a gigantic arena where there's hundreds of undead people fighting. Sorry, not demons. And it's just like, get in the, and the guy is basically just like, get in the fucking Thunderdome. It's war. Go fight. You gotta kill 30 dudes. Yeah. And I'm like, this is amazing. I feel like this is Doom. Hell yeah, this is my kind of zone. And the whole zone, like the whole storyline, it's like, there's a war going on. And I'm like, this is badass as hell. And then cycle, okay? Boom. Hey, now we're in Allenwald. And it's all slow. And you have to hang out with fairy people. And centaurs. And
It's
save.
like Narnia in a bad way.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's basically Narnia. And I'm like, it's not terrible. It was better than Bastion. But I just kind of felt like at the same time, like, I don't even remember. I go sitting there, I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck happened.
What,
Like, my brain just
one,
turned off, and I just sped through it somehow.
which zone's the one with the vampire people?
That's the last one. Once again,
Ah.
cycles. You finally get through Ardenwald, which Ardenwald wasn't terrible, but I think the thing that made it better than Bastion is that, like, Ardenwald, like Bastion, you lingered in the same place a lot, doing the same quests, like in the same place over and over again, and it was just like move on. Whereas Ardenwald, you were constant, like you would do like 3 quests, next hub, 3 quests, next hub. Made it more interesting and dynamic because you were constantly moving around. And then you get the last zone, which is probably, I don't want to say my favorite, because Maldrax is amazing, but it's the Venthyr Covenant place is basically super posh, like Transylvanian vampires, like literally in carts and stuff,
Yeah.
and like Igor and Hunchback people, and like creating stuff, and they're all about like their job is torturing people until they like give up all their sins and stuff, and it's super freaking cool general area, but it seems like the quickest. It was kind of like it's almost like the devs spent all that time making Bastion, and then they're like, okay, we gotta do the next 2 zones, cool, and then they're like, oh fuck, you're level 58 and we still have a zone to go through. Speed mode. It's like it's by far felt like the shortest zone by far, and it sucks because it's a really cool zone.
Yeah.
But I also think part of it too is that so much of the story for that zone also kind of got saved for the raid, because that's what the first raid is basically finishing up that zone.
Yeah.
I think kind of that was part of the issue as well. But it's pick your poison basically, because then once you get to the end game, you have to pick a covenant. And you basically side with one of those 3 zones and help them out and keep exploring their story more and so on. And that's kind of where I just got my hitting 60, and it's kind of like, ooh, this is where I was starting to go, It's that point where I think we were talking, all of us were talking about earlier with WoW, where it's just like, it's always fun while you're leveling, and then you get to the end game, and it's like, oh shit, here comes the grind. And it's really overwhelming this time around. Not necessarily grind-wise, like the grind's there, but just how many systems they throw at you.
Yeah.
Because like you've got your covenant you have to pick, and then you start doing that, and then you've got the Maw, and it's all its stuff, and then you got Torghast where you got to go and to grind your legendary, and then you've got Anima that you need to grind out as well, and then there's like this whole conduit system and soul buying system. Like there's so many systems it throws at you at that in game where my brain was just like, how about no?
Oh boy.
I mean, that kind of sounds like an overcorrection of just like, oh, people are getting bored with the end game. There's not much to do. Well, let's give them everything to do now.
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah, it kind of feels like that. Where it's very clear that a lot of games recently, I think we've mentioned before, that like there's this kind of feeling of games. It's no longer about how much money is spent on a game directly. Now game developers, for whatever reason, the metric they chase is time played. And so there's definitely this prevailing feeling in a lot of more recent games where it's just like, how do we pad out how long these people are in a game, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it felt like. It was just like, we're going to give you so many fucking systems that you'll just be here forever. Which I just don't really understand that idea, because if you make it that overwhelming, how many people are you losing like me who are just like, actually, that's a lot of shit. I'm just not going to do this. And you leave, right? Rather than making like good content, or just, making a little bit of content and accepting that people are going to come back in cycles. you just alienate everybody except the most hardcore, which, I mean, maybe it's like the whale theory of microtransactions. Yes, you're not selling as many microtransactions, but those few whales who have insane amounts of money and really like your game are just going to spend fortunes on it, and that's fine. Like, I guess
Yeah.
that's the idea here. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. And there's catch up mechanics and stuff. It'll get in better, but it just seemed like a lot of stuff to throw at you at once. And I was already, I knew about this stuff already, and I was overwhelmed. I can only imagine you guys who are just brand new, like going, "What the fuck? What is this? What is that? What, you want me to go where? Huh? Oh no!" Like run away. Just
Yeah.
like no. I was like a new
Yeah.
player jumping straight into this is going to be extremely overwhelmed,
I
especially by
just
the
want
time
to
you
get
get
to the tower, guys. That's all I really want to do.
And that Torghast, like that sounds amazing, and that's like another Blizzard problem too, where they kind of have with this, where like they're chasing so many ways to keep you occupied that they don't really flesh out any one of those ways in a good way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think I don't think you guys messed with island expansions at all. I think the other night somebody, when we were all in the group, asked about that. I was like, just don't even worry about it because it's like it was a failed experiment.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I was saying, that like Torghast, there's more to it than that, but it kind of seems like they always make these systems each expansion, and then they just kind of they're
Drop
half
it.
baked, and they just drop it. Like Island expansion sounded like an amazing idea, and then they just didn't do anything with it. And like Torghast, so far, kind of feels like the same way. Like you still have to go there for your legendaries, but like once you can only equip one legendary. So once you make your legendary that you really need, why would you go back? Except it being cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's a really cool system that you could do so much with. So why aren't you doing anything with it, devs? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild in a nutshell. You know, they've kind of done that the last few expansions, where it's like we create something and then we just never really flesh it out, and we just let it wither and die. And I'm like, just instead of constantly trying to chase something new to keep people occupied, make something good to keep people occupied. That's an idea, right?
All right, and Cody, to bring it all home, for people who are thinking about getting back into WoW to play Shadowlands, should they do it? Yes or no?
Right. Everything I just said, right? I think it depends on what you want. If you're coming back just like, I think all of us mainly came back just for leveling, and then the rest of it's like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
If that's your thing, if you just want to level, even if it's not like 50 to 60, just leveling like from the start, like we did, there's probably no better time to get back into WoW than now. It's really easy to level. It's really fun to go to all the expansions and check them out. You know, everything's changed a lot from the last few expansions. It's like that aspect of it is fantastic. So if that's what you're looking for, I would say yes. And I don't know. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. Everything I've read on Reddit, people seem to love this stuff. I complain about it, but this is me literally just getting to it all last night. I'm a brand new, fresh character, you know, so like stuff's going to be hard, stuff's going to be overwhelming. Maybe it gets better and it all gets less complex. Like, you know, like I said with Torghast, once you get a legendary, you don't really have to worry about it anymore. So that's one system that seems really overwhelming at the first, but then after a week or two, you don't have to worry about it. So things like that. It just kind of depends, you know.
And I just want to make the point that yes, you did a lot of complaining, but that is because you care. You care about the game. You want it to be good.
See, yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because like whenever I talk with my friends and stuff, and they're like, "You just complain about games all the time. Do you enjoy them?" I'm like, if I didn't enjoy it, I would just say the game fucking sucked and moved on. The fact that I'm spending an hour complaining about it shows that like I really do like it and I want it to be good. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, if you complain about America, if you hate America so much, why don't you move somewhere? Like, I complain about America because I love it and I want it to be better. Make America great again.
No.
And on that note.
Damn you, we're not ending on that note. That's terrible. Terrible.
Craft great again, okay? Yeah.
You just got the podcast canceled. We're not going to get any sponsors anymore. We're not going to get anything.
See what happens when I'm on this show?
Now, can you imagine if we got Sergio on the show? It'd be fuck every second.
I mean, remember, didn't Anthony and them get in trouble at Pixelated Geek because of us, because of
Yes.
Sergio.
Because we had that one podcast that was called
Deep in my balls or something like that.
no, it was something to do with children.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember what it was, but yes, I had to change the title of that podcast.
I think almost every one of those titles came from something Sergio said.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Oh man, I love him, but that man says
Yeah.
some wild
we,
things at
we,
times.
we, we
Says the man who
got in
just said
trouble.
"Make America Great Again."
Yeah, that's what the podcast should be titled.
I was trying
World
to
of
like bring
Warcraft
that
great again.
into. Oh yeah, I was trying to say like "Make Azeroth Great Again," but my brain
Yeah.
said America, and then it all went downhill from there. So. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're here to level, it's good, and
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. I
Yeah.
heard like the expansions and mythics and all that stuff, like the rating and all that. It's really good too. I just think they could do better with not being quite so overwhelming at the
Same
start.
here,
Ultimately,
Jen. Same here.
what'd she say? I'm not looking at chat, all right?
I
have
still
this game
immediately get
open.
aggro when I see someone in a red hat.
Right.
We need to take back red hats, guys. It's all good. I'm gonna get a horde hat, a red horde hat, and it's gonna have.
I think I've seen some of those. Like they have like
Yeah.
red ones that say "Make Azeroth Great Again." And I'm like, those are pretty
God.
dope.
All right.
Alright, anyway. Yeah. Well, thank you
This was
everybody for
supposed to be
coming.
the I like how this was supposed to be the Shadowlands podcast, and it was basically just reminisce about WoW,
Yeah.
which actually was probably better. So fuck it.
Remnants with
That's how we
Cody.
do things here.
I
That's
said
how
it
it
was
works
going
here.
to be about World of Warcraft. I never said it was going to be about Shadowlands.
My head, I was thinking Shadowlands, but then as we was like when we got started talking, I was like, wait, they haven't even got the Shadowlands, so fuck.
Yeah. But thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate the people who do come by to watch.
Listen,
And-
right? I swear you said hallucinate, and I'm like, that's kind of what this feels like.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little bit of a hallucination. Anyway.
the way it's got off the rails here at the end.
That's basically how PCP always ends.
I mean, everything's better on PCP.
Thank you to Jordan for stopping by as our special guest this week.
Thank you for having me.
And this has been Pixel Clicks Presents with Chattin with Cody. And we will see you all in the next episode.
We know
Bye.
what we're talking about.